Marvel's What If Episode 2 is almost here, and it's time to do our weekly preview video talking about all the things we think will be in the episode and speculating about where it will take the show. It's the Tachala Star-Lord episode, baby. Let's go! A small reminder that myself and many of the Nerd Vengers will be doing a watch party for Marvel's What If Episode 2, just like we're going to do for the rest of the season and we did for Episode 1. Come by the live streaming channel at around 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're going to be crazy and staying up to watch What If like us, well, you might as well come hang out at the watch party. It's a good time. So when it comes to Marvel's What If Episode 2, we know this is going to be the Star-Lord T'Challa episode, and Marvel actually put out a new promo that's sort of to tease that episode 2, but also to tease things coming later. So I'm going to put that trailer up on the screen for you here, and we're going to break down some of the coolest things that are in it. At the very beginning of this preview, we see Star-Lord, the T'Challa Star-Lord, and the scene of T'Challa looking up at the ship, and it's very similar to what you would see in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. And we get the whole, you know the story, but what if the story was different and in animation kind of, audio with it. But we do see that that is more or less going to be the main idea of the show is, doing the Guardians thing, but with T'Challa as Star-Lord. Now, we do see a young T'Challa being recruited into the Ravengers, and Yondu, in the voice of Michael Rooker, is talking about how the young Wakandan isn't too freaked out about all of this. And on a side note, I am so pumped that Michael Rooker is voicing Yondu, and I can't wait to hear/see Yondu across from a T'Challa Star-Lord voiced by Chadwick Boseman. Disney didn't really put a lot of Chadwick Boseman out there. That audio that he did for What If isn't in a lot of the trailers, and it's not in this new trailer either. It seems like they are really holding that back, which I'm totally okay with. I'm so excited to hear Chad's voice again. His death and untimely passing really hit me particularly hard, so I don't know, I might have an emotional reaction to it, just being honest. But regardless, I'm pumped that we're gonna literally get T'Challa and the voice with Michael Rooker, Yondu, as the voice. Because, dude, Rooker killed it as Yondu in those Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of Guardians Volume 2, the arc that Yondu has is awesome. Now, we do see a part in the trailer that shows the Collector, and later on we see the Collector in a literal fist fight with seemingly T'Challa and perhaps Yondu. And it's kind of awesome. Like, the Collector, I was a fan of the character in general, but now we're getting this more action-y version of him, and having an actual fisticuffs match in the Collector's lair seems pretty sick. We can also tell from the trailer that the galaxy knows who Star-Lord is. T'Challa seems to have been way more successful building that brand name and his own recognition than Peter Quill was, as we see some people shouting Star-Lord, and I think that's going to be sort of a funny juxtaposition against the Peter Quill Star-Lord and the T'Challa Star-Lord. Now, we also see this classic shot from the first Avengers movie, which, sort of circles or spins around the different members of the Avengers team. But in this version of that, we see the Captain Carter character along with our T'Challa Star-Lord and also the Erik Killmonger Black Panther. And now that's what I want to get into. I want to sort of talk about what I think this means and a track I see What If going on that's going to lead us to a very, very cool place. I think this is just totally going to make a lot of sense once you hear me explain it, and we're all going to be like, oh, okay, that's the direction they're going with it. You see, I think many, many things are now different in this universe, and this universe is the Captain Carter universe. When we hear Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher say in episode 1 that this was the moment that created a new universe, and it's all about Peggy staying in the room, and then we know obviously what happens from episode 1. Yeah, that universe, this variant branch universe, all kinds of different things are now going to be different. And if you just think about it, that makes a lot of sense. It will likely be the explanation as to why Yondu is going on a different mission to Earth. It'll be the explanation for why Erik Killmonger becomes Black Panther. It will be the explanation as to why T'Challa gets picked up with the Ravengers and why they go on their own adventure. And maybe it will even explain why the Collector is a more badass character. So you see, we're going to watch all of these different what ifs all be connected to a singular universe where they're all going to meet up together, probably fight off Loki, but hopefully also step into more multiversal stuff after that. This likely also explains why episode 1 held so true to the plot points of the first Avenger movie, that first Captain America movie, and why the rest of the what if characters are going to be very different, like more different than the first episode was from that movie. Maybe Ego never even comes to Earth and there is no Peter Quill in this universe, or maybe Peter Quill does go join with Ego and do his own thing, as we've sort of seen that teased out as well. So it's almost like the butterfly effect, like just that one little change in episode 1 is making so many things different in the MCU that is the timeline of what if. But this sort of begs the question, like, how crazy are things going to get? How weirdly different are characters going to be? How bizarre is this group of Avengers going to be? And what kind of foes and challenges can they face by the end of the series? Because we think from some of the leaks that happen and some of the little toy teases out there that we're going to see a Black Widow that's one of the last remaining survivors in a universe where Ultron won. But that likely can't be the universe that we're in with Peggy, or it would mean a lot of those characters die. We also think we see a universe in which Peter Parker, with the Cloak of Levitation, is now Sorcerer Supreme fighting off zombies. And again, that's likely a totally different universe. Otherwise, everybody's going to turn into a zombie in Peggy's universe. And we know from some of the marketing material that this group of Avengers, the Peggy Carter Avengers, is going to come to be known as the Guardians of the Multiverse. And so it seems to me that episode 2 of What If is going to give us a very different telling of the Guardians of the Galaxy film, where T'Challa will be Star-Lord, but it's also going to set up a ton of things that are different in the modern day universe of Peggy Carter's Captain Carter timeline. So as I said before, I really feel like the show is going to open itself up and get crazier and crazier as we move forward, and I can't wait until they're fighting against Ultron, or perhaps going to fight other multiversal threats. And I think the further along we get in this season, the more crazy teasers and Easter eggs and explanations for what is happening in the multiverse is going to be established. Make sure you let us know how hyped up you are for episode 2 of What If. Make sure you are subscribed to the live streaming channel for all the live streams, but especially the What If watch party. Smash the like on this video, and as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.